Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Classic Comics. And we've got a new episode of The Expanse. This is episode 9. So, this recap and review will have spoilers. So, if you haven't seen this episode, you should watch that and then come back. We start on Marco's ship, the Pella, and he receives a message from Corral who tells him about the fake distress call from the Chetzamoka being altered. And Marco realizes that this means Naomi is actually still alive. We then go to the Firehawk, and Alex and Bobby are now receiving the altered message. And they question whether this can be a malfunction or is it something deliberate. But if Naomi is doing it, then why doesn't she give a more clear or precise message of some kind? And on the Rossi, Holden has received the message as well, and they also question what this means as they head towards the Chetzamoka. Back on Earth, Amos, Clarissa, Erich, and a few of Erich's people have flown to Lake Winnipesaukee, where Clarissa's family has a vacation home with a working shuttle that can take them off planet. Now, they get to a house. It's not actually her home. It's somebody else's home, but it's kind of the same setup. There's this vacation home for rich people, and there's a shuttle adjacent to it. They arrive at night, and the house is dark and seems to be empty, so they ignore it, and they head to the shuttle hangar. In the hangar, they find some of the servants hiding, and they question the servants and learn that the shuttle hasn't flown in a couple of years and apparently has some kind of problem with the reactor. On the moon, Chrisjen learns that the Earth military has destroyed Palace Station against her objections, and at a meeting of Secretary General Pastor's cabinet, some, including Admiral Delgado, urged that they attack other civilian targets in the belt. And Delgado suggests destroying Ceres Station because it's the biggest port in the belt, and without it, Marco will be forced to go to the outer planets to resupply his ships, which will hamper his fleet's ability to carry out further attacks. Chrisjen reminds them that there are millions of civilians on Ceres, including hundreds of thousands of children, but Pastor ignores her and presses for a plan of attack. Chrisjen then announces that if Pastor is intent on this course of action, she will not be a part of it, and she resigns from his cabinet, and about 4 other cabinet ministers resign along with her. Back with Drummer's fleet, Corral and Oksana have another discussion about Naomi and how to handle Drummer. Corral tells Oksana to keep quiet about it. After all, Drummer doesn't really need to know, and Oksana reluctantly agrees. Back on Earth with Amos, they try getting the shuttle to work, and Amos says the shuttle should fly since the engines are fine, but something is preventing the engines from starting, possibly software related. Erich suggests that it might be a security protocol and he should be able to get around it. Then a group of servants from the other surrounding homes on the island show up, thinking that Amos and the others are relief workers who are there to rescue them. Amos and Erich tell them that they're not and that the people need to leave, but they beg for help because since the asteroid attack, the power has been out and they've been cut off from the mainland. They have no way of getting off the island and they're running out of food. Clarissa tells them that they can come along on the shuttle, which Amos and Erich aren't happy about. They're like, what, are you nuts? But Clarissa then tells them that, hey, if you want me to fly the shuttle for you, you're going to need to let these people come along as well. Marco sends a message to Drummer telling her to attack the Rocinante, and Drummer isn't enthused about the idea at all. She questions it and points out to Corral that they've already been told that the Rossi was being lured into a trap, so why go and attack the Rossi now? Corral points out that Drummer swore loyalty to Marco, and while she doesn't come right out and say it out loud, the threat she's making is pretty clear, and Drummer agrees to the attack. On the moon, there's a holographic memorial which displays the names of the victims from the asteroid attacks. Chrisjen adds her husband Arjun's name to the display, so apparently he was killed in the asteroid attacks. Then a female general approaches Chrisjen and tells her that 3 more cabinet ministers have resigned, and the ministers are planning to hold a vote of no confidence in the Chancellor's leadership that will remove him. And she also asks if Chrisjen would be willing to assume the Secretary General's position if it was offered to her. She agrees and asks Delgado to stay on as one of her advisors, but Delgado tells her that he's requesting a transfer to a strike group so that he can participate in hunting down Marco and killing him. Back on Earth, a group of private security guards show up and they demand that Amos and the others give them all of their food, and they want the shuttle as well. Amos, Erich, and the others refuse their demands, and a standoff ensues. But Clarissa then tries to talk them all down, and Amos warns them to walk away, which they do, but they know that the guards are just going to be coming back later with more reinforcements. So now they have a ticking clock. They need to get the shuttle working and get out of there before the guards show back up. On Drummer's ship, Drummer confronts Oksana and says that she knows Oksana is hiding something and badgers her to tell her the truth. Oksana tells her that Naomi might still be alive, and of course Drummer wants to go help her, but Oksana says they can't do that, and that if Drummer loves her and the rest of her crew, she'll just do what Marcos wants, because otherwise it's going to get them all killed. Inside the shuttle, Erich tells Clarissa that he's registered Amos, or Tim, as the owner of the shuttle, so the security program shouldn't stop them from using the shuttle. But the engine still won't start. Then Erich asks why Amos calls her Peaches, which is Amos's nickname for her, and she says she doesn't really know, and then asks why Erich calls Amos Tim, to which Erich says, well, that's his name, and Clarissa asks, should I even ask what that's about? And Erich's like, no, you probably really shouldn't. Then Amos figures out what the problem is, and he gets it fixed. They're able to start the engines, and they start getting the servants on board. Then the security guys show up, and a firefight ensues. They lose some of Erich's men, but everyone else makes it onto the shuttle, and they safely launch up into orbit. On the Pella, Marco tells Philip that his mother is still alive, and Philip doesn't take it very well. I can't help but feel sympathy for Philip with this whole situation, with him being torn between his mother and his father, and it has to be just emotionally exhausting for him. On board the Chetzemoka, Naomi is able to kit bash together a view screen that shows her that the Firehawk is getting close, and the episode ends there. So this episode has multiple characters facing difficult choices. Amos and Clarissa have to choose to bring these strangers along with them or abandon them. Oksana has to choose whether to tell Drummer the truth or not. Drummer has to choose if she will do what Marcos wants or act to help Naomi. Chrisjen has to choose between cooperating with Pastor's war plans or resigning, and then choosing whether to accept his Secretary General position or not. Obviously, you present characters with difficult choices in order to reveal character, and in Clarissa's case, it's interesting to see how she has changed during her time in prison. When she was trying to get revenge on Holden and the others back in Season 3, she killed a lot of people. And a couple of episodes back, she had a scene where she talked about how right it all seemed at the time, and it took her a while to come to terms with what she did. She's clearly a different person now and is very concerned with trying to make different choices, and this puts her in conflict with Amos and these other criminal types that she's surrounded by now. So overall, this was a solid episode. Let me know what you thought in the comments. If you found this review informative, please hit the like button. Also, please sub to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.